बॉक्स में ड्रॉप करो। लास्ट 10 मिनट में अपने रोल नंबर, अभी नहीं, लास्ट 10 मिनट में अपने रोल नंबर लेक्चर खत्म होने से पहले चैट बॉक्स में रोल नंबर और नाम ड्रॉप कर देना। गुड मॉर्निंग एवरीवन। So today's lecture is understanding about ergonomics, work study and productivity. Now what we need to understand here is, first of all, what is ergonomics. So ergonomics can be defined as, it is a word, ergonomics. It came actually from Greek word ergon and nomos. Ergon and nomos, which means the law. Ergon means work and nomos means laws. So it is laws of work. On the other way you can say, now it is quite essential to have laws of work or science of work behind ergonomics, or exactly it is ergonomics. Now we should understand why we are studying ergonomics. We are studying ergonomics to make ourselves capable of removing the incompatibility between man and machine. As I told you, ergonomics is what? A relation between man and machine. So we should be able to remove the incompatibility between man and machine. Means we need to create more or most compatible behavior or relation between man and machine. Now what we call a good ergonomic design. A good ergonomic design is that which removes the incompatibilities between work and the worker. Here worker doesn't mean that labor. Worker can be a labor, worker can be an operator, worker can be an engineer. At many of the times, engineer does operate the machines, the CNC machines or the very costlier one machines, engineer used to operate. So a good ergonomic design which can help in removing the incompatibilities between the work and the worker and helps to create the optimal work environment. So this was all about ergonomics. Now ergonomics is a process. It is a process. How it is a process? It is a process of analyzing many things. What many things? Which are the many things? First of all, ergonomics process includes assess risk. Now we need to reduce the risk. First of all, what type of risk? Then we need to conduct, for that we need to conduct an ergonomic assessment, which is a base to the ergonomic process. Now this ergonomic improvement efforts will help us to work effectively assessing the jobs in the workplace so as to reduce the risk factors. There are a number of risk factors when we talk about industries, especially mechanical industries or a manufacturing sector. There are many risks available. That also depends upon the type of plant, type of product to be manufactured. So, and next is for the plan improvements. Our core goal of the ergonomic process is to make the changes to the workplace which can help in reduce the risk to the minimal or close to zero. Next is measure progress. Now, if we employ something, if we deploy something, or if we conduct something, we need to measure the progress. Otherwise, we cannot conclude that this thing works. Either it is good, better, or best. So there won't be any improvement chances if we are unable to measure. Like we need to assess or measure the students' performance by using various examinations, through assignments, through mid semesters, through unit tests, through quizzes, through tutorials. So there are a number of parameters for the measurement. And after the measurement, whatever results come, then we can conclude how much to improve, how much to work on. So the similar way, if we have worked for improvement here, assessing risk here, measurement is quite important. Measurement is an important component of any successful continuous improvement process. And the next one is scale solutions. And as per the measurement of the progress, we need to scale up the solutions also. Now, what kind of solutions? It is a common set of tools to train the workforce. What you need to do, what kind of training you need to give to workforce, which helps them to assess the risk, plan the improvements, measure the progress, and design a new work process. Then and only then we are able to scale the ergonomics and do the best of the practices throughout our organization. So this was about ergonomic process. Now, what are the benefits of it? Why we are doing it? And what are the basic benefits of it? The basic benefits of it are lowering the cost, lowering the cost, increasing the productivity to the higher level. Now, increasing the product quality to attain the better level, and improving the employee engagement so as to reduce the tensions and frustrations while working on, and increase the safety culture in and across the organization. As I told you, we are discussing currently in perspective of manufacturing sector, since we are related in we are having a field of mechanical engineering. So we are typically uh, discussing on manufacturing unit, the production unit. Although these are ergonomic factors employable to service industries also, but their service industries risks are of uh, different nature, but considerably plant setup has little higher risk, higher environmental factors, higher uncomfortability across the system, across the environment, which operator has to face or worker has to face. Now this organization, this ergonomics improvement process systematically identifies ergonomic hazards. This means ergonomic incompatibilities, which causes hazards and puts the place of engineering and administrative controls to measure the quantifiably reducing the risk factors. We need to quantify those risk factors which have which has to be reduced, and how much to be reduced, and how much we have reduced, that we should be able to quantify. Okay, hope you understand this much. Now coming to the next slide, how ergonomics work. Ergonomic work is a relatively new kind of a branch of science, and almost a half decade back it came into picture, and it more rely on research work than the older scientific methods. So here, engineering, physiology and psychology, it is a combination of engineering, physiology and psychology, and certain disciplines are there to work on. Like, first one is anthropometry. Now what is anthropometry? Anthropometry, from the Greek language, if we see, Anthropos means human, and matron, METRON, matron means measure. Now, what to measure here? Human. Factors of human, obviously. It refers to the measurement of human individual. As I told you in the last lecture, it has been used for the of identification for the purpose of understanding human physical variations, because I told you across the India, if you'll see, we have various dimensions in the body of humans. It is not between male and female, it is between irrespective of the male and female, it varies. Kindly don't make noise. Now, variation, as I told you, if you go across east to west, north to south, like from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari, if you go, north to south, if you go east to west, Assam to Mumbai or Gujarat, if you go, physical nature of human varies. Now, the anthropometry, this involves in the systematic measurement of physical properties of the human body, primarily dimension of body size and shape. Why we need to fit that person into the machine or the system. Even if we design a table or a chair, then we need this data available with us, because a person can be of say 4 feet and can move to, in Indian context, can move to 6.5 feet or sometimes 7 feet as well. So how to accommodate that person, what kind of flexibility we need to give to the table and the chair, so as to so as to fit that person of or range of that people into the same system. So that study is quite required in this case. Next one is biomechanics. Now, what is biomechanics? Bio, we know it means life, and life is its own mechanism. Actually, it is the application of mechanical principles to the living organisms such as human, animal, plant, and the functional basic units of life. Now, life and cells. Biomechanics, it really plays an important role in the understanding of the functional principles of human motion, of like muscles, levers, forces, strength, etc. Biomechanics, it is not only related to industrial, it is related to sports also, or general life also, because what is mechanics? Movement. Mechanics is movement. And what we are talking about, bio means life, which who has life? Humans has life, animals has life, even plants has life. So the mechanics, the movement of human, animal, and plants we are studying here. How much force we are generating while we are doing gym, how much force we are generating on the muscle side, which muscles, every body part has a muscle, you know. So this kind of things we are doing. Then environmental physics. Now, what is environment? Environment is like that zone which is faced by the operator and the machine. Now, what kind of obstacles or disturbances are there in that environment? That is noise, light, heat, cold sometimes, radiation sometimes. If you go to nuclear power plant, you will face radiations. There are chances of facing radiations, and sometimes vibrations all across, because heavy machinery is even moving or working at the same platform. Then hearing, then vision sensations, many environmental factors are there, because it is all around. If it is all around noise, then there will be a hearing trouble. If it is all around vibration, then it may happen that vision is will not be clear of the screen. So it may happen sudden extra light is there, extra heat is there, radiations are there, smoke is there, smoke can be there, or some foul smells can be there, because if you work in a chemical industries or pharmaceutical industries, there smoke, foul smell is always there. So these are the uh, system these are the system we need to handle. These are the environmental factors we need to handle. Then comes the applied psychology. Applied psychology, it deals with the inherent part of the operator, like skill, learning, errors, differences. Then comes the social psychology. Now what is social psychology? The person should be uh, social enough. It That person has to work in group, that person has to have a clear communication, that person has to have a learning attitude or a learning behavior towards many of the things. Okay. Then comes the next one, which is definitions of work study. Now what is work study? Let us understand. It is basically the knowledge which gives the analysis of work methods. As I told you, we need to analyze the work to be done repeatedly, because you say, suppose in a shift of 8 hours, in a shift of 8 hours, if you need to work in a shift of 8 hours, if you need to work and can produce 80 units of the same product, this means 80 times you need to repeat that work. So that work has to be analyzed by various methods and the equipment or the machinery through which we are going to perform that particular job. So in correlation with that operator's work, operator's body movements with the machine interface, we need to analyze the work, because it helps in performing the job. So the design of an optimum work method and the standardization of proposed work method is really required. Now, this is divided into two. As I told you in the previous lecture also, that work study is divided into two. First one is motion study and another one is time study. Now, what is motion study? Motion study discussed about, first thing, how a job to be done. In this case, as I told you, we'll work for motion study. Sometimes it is also called method study or work simplification also. And the next part is the measurement part, which time, how much time a job should take for the completion. And this refers in terms of time study or work measurement. As I in the previous lecture on the or in the first lecture also, I told you the same. Now let us discuss the objectives of the work study. The simple, it has the two objectives. Now what two objectives? The first one is we need to analyze the present method. If we are not fresh enough, we have certain methods through which we are fulfilling the job production or the production simply. So if we have certain method, existing method, then that existing method of performing a job or doing a job, we need to analyze the same systematically in order to develop a new and better method than the existing one. First thing. Another thing, we need to measure that work content of the job by measuring or comparing with the time to perform the job by a qualified worker. And finally we can establish the standard time. By a qualified worker means that person qualified. Now what is qualified worker? You just go through the various resources. In the next lecture, I'll discuss what is qualified worker. You yourself should search about what is qualified worker here. Okay, we will discuss in the next lecture what is qualified worker. I'll start from this point. What is qualified worker? Because here it comes while measurement, you need to have a qualified worker. This means this is a standard, and that standard has to be maintained. And what kind of standard a qualified worker carries? And this means without this qualified worker, you are unable to find or measure the exact time of performing that particular job. Now, let us understand the relation between productivity and work study. Now, why we are studying this productivity? First of all, let us understand what is productivity. Productivity है क्या? Productivity is basically today's highest need of this modern business world. Now, what productivity is all about? There are many factors which affects the productivity. Productivity and production is different. Say if a farmer is having an acre of land, 1 acre of land, and he produces say 50 kgs of or 100 quintal of or 100 kgs of wheat. 1 acre, say suppose example, 1 quintal of or 100 kgs of wheat, and if he need to make it double, then he has to go for 2 acres. This is not done. If he is increasing land from 1 acre to 2 acre, then the production must go more than on the double. Then and only then we can say this is the productivity. Otherwise it's a simple production, because percentage of doing the thing is same. Now, to reduce the cost of production, similar thing comes in here. To reduce the cost of production and to successfully face the competition within the country and abroad, we need to have that tool to work on. The productivity consciousness should be simulated in the country for getting the maximum utilization of available resources. Now, what kind of resources we have discussed in the previous lectures also, that resources are like men, machine, money, method, materials, capital, power, etc. So these are the resources. I told you when we were discussing about an industrial engineering or an industrial engineer or planning engineer. So these are the resources which a planning engineer has to deploy, okay, during planning by by using various layouts we have discussed in the previous lecture. Okay, then the results of increased productivity, results of the results of increased productivity would be really beneficial in all terms, thereby increasing the standard of living of the people. This means that everyone employed in the gainful employment should contribute to increase the maximum productivity and standard of living to build a powerful nation. It is simply like if we have 1 acre of land and we produce 100 kgs of wheat, we if we keep on making this land as same like 1 acre, then we need to produce more than 100 kgs to show the productivity. Say 120 kgs, so 20 kgs is higher on the same input. This means it is simply output by input. Productivity is output by input. So we need to increase it by certain percentage by keeping the same input. Either if we increase the input, then by the previous input, the percentage of increase should be more. Okay. So then if we deploy these kind of things, then we'll get certain advantages. What kind of advantages we are going to get? We'll get the uniform and improved production flow. Yes, there will be good flow of nice flow of production, higher productive efficiency. As I told you, it comes in percentage. Reduce the manufacturing cost. We have seen in work study itself, definition of work study itself, that it reduces the cost. And fast and accurately delivering rates. If you see, if you have already worked on these parameters, you'll get these results. These are basically the results rather than advantages. So then we'll get better employee-employer relation. If no uncertainty is there and the employer and employee is on the same platform, then and only then there could be a better relations between employee and the employer. Then comes the better services to the customer. And if the employee employer relations are good, then and only then there will be better services delivered to the customer. Then comes job satisfaction and security also. Automatically comes if relations are healthy, then job security and satisfaction will go on increasing, and then better working and other contributions will come, and automatically higher wages to the workers will would be the final results. Then comes the application of work study. We basically are discussing about industries, that is the production one, but there are certain more parameters where we can include the work study part. Now what is that? In industries also we can deploy this kind of basics of work study, like production unit, operation unit, research and development units. There are many places where only R&D work is going on. There is no production, but they are doing R&D only. There also we can apply this work study funda. Then it comes also in marketing, sales and distribution, then store, offices and warehouses, because everywhere you have a job or work to perform. To simplify the work, to measure the time by using many methods. We'll study methods in the next lectures, upcoming lectures. So analyze them and upgrade the method of working so as to increase the efficiency and get the advantages we have studied just now in previous slide. Then comes the material handling. This material handling also has an application of work study. Design also, design department also has. Then building construction, then transportation, even hospitals, army, agriculture, many of the fields we can apply this basic of work study. So these were the fields we can apply their work study basics. If you have any doubt or any query, you can ask me now. Again, let me say you drop your roll number and name in the chat box. We have only 5 minutes left with us. If anybody has a question or any doubt, you can ask me now.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, what is material handling, sir? This is in application of work study, sir. So what is material handling, sir?
Okay, in production scenario, what is material? What is material?
Sir, material in industries which we produce in industries, sir,
yes.
That be
yes.
called.
That could be a raw material. That could be a finished good. Okay.
Yes,
so from raw material from store or a place where inventories are kept, from that place to the particular machine where that raw material is allocated, we need to carry from that place to the allocated machine,
yes,
and finished
yes,
goods to the inspection department. So in between we need some material handling equipments, because it is not possible, it's not a bag of a cement with one can carry on their back. They are heavy equipments, so we need material handling equipments, and this is the material handling in between the things. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So if path is very clear, क्योंकि इस मशीन के लिए मुझे यहाँ से यहाँ आना है, then there won't be wastage of time, है ना? So if there is no
Yes,
wastage of time, then there will be reduction of the cost and increasing the efficiency. Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
What else?
Yes, sir. Thank
If anyone else has any doubt? I am here for next 3 minutes again. If you have any doubt, think about it. Ask me now.
हेलो हेलो सर।
हाँ जी बोलिए।
सर आपने कल सर 2 तरह के मार्केट के बारे में बताया था, उसके बारे में थोड़ा एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे?
यस प्लीज।
रिप्लेसमेंट
दो
मार्केट के बारे में।
दो तरह के मार्केट की मैंने बात की थी। वन वाज रिप्लेसमेंट मार्केट, वन इज ओईएम, ओरिजिनल इक्विपमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर। So original equipment manufacturer, like I was working in Apollo Tyres Limited, and we were supplying tires to many of the companies like Maruti, Mahindra, whosoever is in automobile sector. So automobile sector, whatever segment it has, so we were supplying to them. For us, they were OEMs, original equipment manufacturer. And you know, tires also sold on the retail shops. So those retail shops or wholesale shops are the replacement market. It's like if you have purchased a car and you need to change one of its tire, then you'll go to a tire shoppy and ask for a tire of this dimension, then you'll get it. So that is a replacement market. And if we supply, manufacturer of the tire of any item supplies to the original equipment like cars, trucks, buses, or anything else, then they are the OEM customers to us. Hope I have cleared your doubt. Is it?
यस सर। ओके सर, थैंक यू
Yes,
सर।
okay. Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay,
No,
thank
sir.
you. Then I'll call it a day. Thank you. Thanks a lot for attending the session.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, dear.